Hi, and welcome to our tutorial video on how to create manual resources in Bókun and how to assign them to bookings. Manual resource is any resource you can assign to your bookings after they are created, for example, a guide, a driver, or a boat captain. To create a manual resource, go to Experiences and select Resource Management. We will start by creating a resource type, so go here and select Create a Resource Type. We give our resource type a name. I am going to call my resource type Guides for Private Tours. You can call it whatever makes sense for you. Just make sure you will recognize it from the list later. If you have already created your guides as resources, you can select here, select resource and choose them from the drop-down list here. I have not created them, so I will go here to create new and start creating my guides. I will start here with John the guide. He can guide up to 8 people, so I will put 8 into capacity. And my next step is to connect John to a user. Here I can just select the user from a drop-down list, and this means that John will be able to log into his Bókun app and see what bookings and departures are assigned to him. Choose the credits plus sign here to finish creating John, and now you can add on any other resource to this particular resource type. I'm going to leave it like this and save, and now we can see I have created guides for private tours. John is the only resource I've added to it. He can take up to 8 people. And my next step is to connect the private tours, guide for private tours to a departure. So I will select here, not connected. I will select the experience I want to connect my guides to. So I'm going to choose here, boat tour private. Select next. On this page, I'm selecting the start times that this resource is supposed to be allocated to. So I will select all of my start times since all of them will need a guide at some point. Now I will select next, and my next step is to select my allocation policy. I'm going to select manual here since this is a manually assigned resource. This means that you always have to go into your daily departures after the booking has been created and manually assign this guide to it. This also means that there is no availability carried by this particular resource. So you have to make sure that there is always some other resource that carries availability, like automatic or private, also assigned to this particular experience. So this could be your groups of, private boats or buses or whatever you're operating. There always has to be 2 resources when you have manual allocation. For my other start times, I'm going to use the same allocation policy. If I would deselect this, I can choose any of the others, but in this case, it makes sense to have it on manual allocation policy. And now I will save this here. So now I have created my resource type, added my resource to it, and linked it to a experience. My next step is to assign John, the guide, to already created bookings. So I will go here to bookings and to daily departures, where I have overview of all of my bookings. I'll go here to a day where I have a booking on it. I will select here resource overview, and now I see my whole departure here. I can see I have already boat for private tour here. This is automatically assigned resource, so the passengers have been assigned to boat 1 and boat 2. And here below I have read what I have to manually assign. So I have John the guide here. He has no bookings on them. And then I have the bookings for Paul and Sarah that have to be assigned to a guide. To assign the booking, I will simply press the tile and pull it into the line below to John the guide. Then I can take Sarah and assign her to the same guide. And this is it. Now we have assigned Paul and Sarah to John the guide. John the guide can now go and log into his Bókun app, and he will see this particular departure and see that his passengers for the day are Paul and Sarah. Thank you.